What's good, YouTube? It's AJ Flame here, and I have my Plunder Patrol deck list for you guys that I played in my last video. Apologies for not getting this up sooner. It's been real busy with school and soccer and work and everything. Haven't been able to really, record all that fun stuff, but I'll try and get ahead. Another video out this week for you guys if I can. It might be a deck list, it might be some gameplay. Not 100% sure yet, but I will figure it out. I will go ahead, tweet it out, whatever it is I'm doing. Ban list comes out, it will be that, a live reaction on stream and everything like that. But let's go ahead and get with this Plunder deck list that I just love playing so much. Plunder is a mid-range deck that has many lines of play and can play either very aggressively or conservatively, with mitigating your resources, and the name of the game is out-resourcing your opponents. And if you can out-resource your opponents, you have game pretty much guaranteed. With all the cards being able to pretty much float into bigger boss monsters, you can go ahead and cheat out monsters, although since sometimes they're not properly summoned, they'll have to be shuffled back into the extra deck instead of being summoned back out through means such as Monster Reborn or Plunder Patrol booty, which isn't really a big hurdle for the deck to climb, since it makes it easy to hard summon the bigger boss monsters as well. But enough about that deck. Let's go ahead and get into this deck list. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the Plunder monsters, starting off with a necessity 3 Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm. You see, Whitebeard is one of your main starters. Even if you don't really have a good hand, so you could open up Whitebeard. Literally, the only monster you open up is Whitebeard, which is usually pretty unlikely. But let's say that you do. You could literally just set whatever backer you have and pass. And he might net you at least a turn and possibly half your life points. It depends on how you play it and what your opponent brings on the board. But pretty much what Whitebeard's effect is during it is a quick effect, by the way. On your opponent's main phase, you can go ahead and you can activate its effect, placing it in the spell and trap zone and special summoning a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck whose attribute is the same as a monster's attribute that your opponent controls, that's either on their field or in their graveyard. And now when Whitebeard is sent from your hand or field to the grave or monster zone, to be more specific, to your graveyard, you get its effect to special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from its deck aside from itself. Although when you activate that effect, you are locked into Plunder Patrol monsters for the rest of that turn. Now notice, as I said, from monster zone or hand. So that means if Whitebeard is in the spell and trap zone as an equip card and gets sent to the graveyard, you do not get that effect. All right, and next Plunder Patrol we have Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol. Golden Hair is a very good addition to this deck as well when it first came out, and when they got all this support in Eternity, when they got this Golden Hair in Eternity Code. Golden Hair is a special summon for the cost of a discard. Well, from the graveyard, and from the hand you can send a Plunder Patrol monster from your hand or face up to the field to special summon her from your hand. Or if she is in the graveyard, you can discard one card from your hand to special summon her from the graveyard. And only one of her literally gets you to a Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is the card to facilitate all your plays throughout the deck. So if you only open up her as your only monster, you can normal summon her, link off into Almirage, use her effect in the graveyard, special summon her, and then go into Blackbeard and set whatever card you have remaining left in your hand. All right, next card, 3 Bluebeard, the Plunder Patrol Shipwright. Now, Bluebeard is an extender. If you control a Plunder monster on your side of the field, you can go ahead and special summon from your hand, although you can only summon it this way once per turn. And when this card is sent from the monster zone or from the hand to the graveyard, you can discard one card and then draw a card. So he helps you thin your decks in a ways that you get a draw, but also that same stipulation as Whitebeard has, where you can't send, or if it goes from the spell or trap zone to the graveyard, you do not get that draw effect. Alright, and next we go ahead, and I only run 2 Redbeard, although most people, I think pretty much everybody who runs Plunder will disagree with me on this and say you have to run 3 Redbeard. I personally only run 2. Because in playtesting, when I had 3, it often just came up as another brick in my hand, and I personally did not find, I didn't like having it in my hand and playing and just having to pretty much go Redbeard pass for the most part. And I just thought it could be so much better than just having just Redbeard. So pretty much the only reason I have it cut down to 2 is for consistency reasons and how I personally prefer how to play the deck than other people. All right, and now we go have another extender, our last extender actually, Triple Silent Angler. All of you, I'm pretty sure all of you know what this card is used for, considering the Freezing Chain structure that came out. And a lot of people have bought that out, and they had that huge tourney with only being able to use 3 copies of those Freezing Chain structure decks. And Silent Angler was a big part in that. So basically what Silent Angler does, if you control a water monster, you can special summon this from your hand. However, you cannot special summon from your hand for the rest of the turn. Alright, and for the rest of my hands, I have 1 Ash because I am still having trouble getting my hands on Ash as a broke college student. So I literally only have 4 copies of Ash in my disposal, and I'm trying to grow my collection. And that includes getting more Ash Blossoms, so wish me luck on that. And then 3 Veilers, Effect Veilers. I know, common Effect Veilers, and it's a poor man's Imperm. Let's be real. I mean, it's still good, but it doesn't have that quick effect like Imperm. You can't just straight activate Imperm. Well, you can just activate Imperm. Effect Veiler is a specific time only in the main phase. Imperm is pretty much whenever you feel like it. Alright, and that's the monster line up. Alright, and now we're off to the spells. Now off to the best spell card in this deck. 3 Plunder Patrol Shipyard. The field spell is amazing. Without this field spell, the deck could function, but it functions at its best with the field spell on the board. Now, the interesting thing about this field spell is that it's hard to get off the field, and it's hard to get rid of, basically, without banishing all 3 copies. Because it does have a graveyard effect where it's able to return itself back to the field face down by discarding a card from your hand. You can only, although it is only once per turn, it is a hard once per turn as well. But it's just hard to get rid of. So even if you get rid of it 1 turn, you just bring it back. Well, you can bring it back the same turn, but you can, if they destroy it again, you have to wait till the next turn to bring it back. And also, it searches every card in the deck that is named Plunder Patrol. By discarding a card, you can go ahead and add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. That includes monster spells and trap cards. All 3 categories that this field spell has it covered. And also as well, it does give a very, very nice boost to all your Plunder Patrol monsters you control. For every face-up Plunder card in your spell and trap card zone, not including your field spell zone, because that is a different zone. And we're going to go into our next spell cards. Triple Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. Emblem is a pretty nice little equip spell we have here. It can only be equipped to a Plunder Patrol monster. And that monster gets 500 attack points. And you can go ahead and use the effect of Emblem to send Emblem to the graveyard. And equip the monster that was equipped with Emblem to a Plunder Patrol monster that you special summon, matching any attribute on either field or graveyard. So that includes your own graveyard along with your opponent's. And let me tell you, Emblem is really crazy in the mirror match. If you ever get a Plunder Patrol mirror match, Emblem will most likely be the deciding factor in that game. It's a wild mirror match if you ever get one. Let me tell you, whoo, that's a game. And also, the Plunder Patrol monster that is special summoned using Emblem's effect keeps that 500 attack permanently. All right, our next spell is Triple Salvage. Salvage targets 2 water monsters with 1500 attack or less in your graveyard and adds them both to hand. I don't think I really have to say much about this card. It just recursion. You need Plunder cards in your hand to play the deck. If you don't have Plunders in the hand, then I don't know what you're doing. You always want at least one Plunder card in your hand. And for the most part, the extra deck monsters do a good job of keeping Plunders in your hand if you do play it correctly. Now, onto my next card, we have 2 Plunder Patrol shipping. That card is so hard to say. I can't even say it. I think I'm just gonna call it Triple S from now on. But basically what the Triple S does, it is a fusion spell to bring out Plunder Patrol ship lists. Okay? The only fusion ship that you have. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. But it does have a secondary effect, which is used more often than the fusion effect. But you do want to use that fusion effect at least once a game, so you can properly summon lists, so you can special summon it from the graveyard with the affected booty. And its second effect is when you banish it, you can go ahead and equip either a Plunder Patrol monster or emblem from your deck directly to a Plunder card you control. Alright, next we have double Foolish Burial Goods. As I said before, you can go ahead. This synergizes really well with both the Triple S and the field spell Shipyard, because both of them have graveyard effects and they're both really, really impactful to your strategy. So it just depends on how you want to play that out and what you have or what your opponent has, and basically saying what can you bait out, what happened, what can you do with this, what can you do with that. Just very situational and how you can play and different and everything like that. Also, next, 2 Cosmic Cyclones. Since you have the room in this deck to run cards like Cosmic Cyclone and stuff like that, you have a lot of deck space, considering the monsters you only really need are the Plunder cards. You can choose to run hand traps or not. You don't necessarily need hand traps, but they are nice to slow down your opponent's play. If your opponent runs Nibiru, triple Nibiru, it's pretty much dead, because Plunder, you rarely summon more than 4 times in a turn, realistically. It's just because you have so much extra space and everything. It's nice to have just for those extremely back row heavy decks. Alright, down to the 1-ofs. 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Called By, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Double or Nothing. Yes, I do main deck the Utopia Double package. I really just do. I think it's really funny. It happens sometimes. Sometimes it comes up. Like if this is the only thing I can do, then I'll try and do it. But I would most likely end up replacing it for Pot of Avarice, maybe 2 copies of it, just because it is a better card and more situational. Because this is more situational and a side deck option, but I opt to main it just because, well, obviously, just in case things happen. It could be a whole mess, but I'll get explanations possibly in another video where I go ahead and do test hands and stuff like that. So if you want to go ahead and see me do test hands, go ahead and just leave a comment. Obviously, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will go ahead and do what I can to try and get my test hands out for this deck or any other deck that you want to see, which I either showcase in live duels that I do or deck lists. Just let me know. Alright, and that is it for our spell lineup. Alright, and now our trap lineup's really simple. 3 booty. That is it. That is the trap lineup. Only trap you really need, because Imperm is more of an option in this deck. So you can build it on a pretty respectable budget, like I did. But basically, what Plunder Patrol would is, it is a Monster Reborn for the archetype. So basically, when you flip this card face up, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your graveyard, or you can shuffle it back into the deck. The shuffle it back effect only usually applies to extra deck monsters which you cheated out using the smaller Plunder's effects or Blackbeard's effect. And also, as well, you can target a card your opponent controls on the side of the field and change its attribute, which helps you with attribute manipulation, so you can bring out your big ships and disrupt your opponent's play. Alright, that is it for the main deck, so let's go ahead and finish this off with the extra deck. We are going to start with the back of my extra deck. So with this, we go ahead. One Abyss Dweller. You all know what Abyss Dweller does. Enough said. It's Abyss Dweller. One Utopia for the Utopia double package. Utopia double. Burlowed Savage Dragon. An Emancipator Risen Dragite. Salamangreat Almirage. 2 Plunder Patrol ship Moark. You see, Moark is a very, very pivotal card in this deck, considering it lets you banish monsters. It is a very, very nice spot removal, especially against decks like Eldritch. This Moark is deadly against Eldritch, because as soon as you banish all 3 of those Golden Lords, for pure Eldritch at least, then the game is pretty much over, because they usually don't have any other form of interaction with that. And as long as Moark is equipped with a Plunder card, its banish effect is a quick effect, and if you properly exceed summon, you can attach an exceed material to protect a Plunder card from destruction. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and 3 Bran. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one too. The only reason I run 3 Bran is because I can't find my White Aura Whale. I have no idea where that card went. If I find it, it'll be an Aura Whale. But as of right now, it's another Bran, because I don't know where that card went in my house. I have no idea where it is. Bran, same quick effect stipulation. If it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, its effect is a quick effect. And also, to activate Moark and Bran's effect, you do need to discard a Plunder card from your hand. And they also do have another effect with that, with also being equipped, as well as being a quick effect. Moark searches a spell and trap. Bran searches a Plunder monster. And also, instead of banishing monsters, Bran banishes spell and trap cards from the field. Face up, face down, doesn't matter. It's just spell and traps, which is very, very nice. And with addition, Bran also gives your Plunder monsters, aside from itself, an extra 500 attack boost. And now we're going to get to my favorite ship, Plunder Patrol ship Liss. Liss is your monster negator. Liss is you need to play at least 2 of every Plunder Patrol extra deck monster. It's fact. Because you cheat out one, and then you properly summon the other one, and you're set. But Plunder Patrol Liss, 2 Plunder Patrol monsters to fusion summon. Standard. You fusion summon it with a triple S, or you cheat it out with Blackbeard, Redbeard, or Whitebeard. And so basically, what Liss does when a monster's effect is activated, you can go ahead and activate Liss's effect as a quick effect. And side note, Liss is the only one of the Plunder Patrol ships that does not need an equip to act as a quick effect, but it does need the equip, so you can go ahead and add a Plunder card from your deck to your hand. That's right, Plunder card. It does not specify spell or trap, so you can search anything from your deck off of Liss's effect if it does resolve. Off of the negate effect, let me specify. But you can go ahead and do that. When a monster effect activated, you can go ahead and discard a Plunder card from your hand, and you can go ahead and negate the effect and destroy that monster. And also has a second effect. Both of these hard once per turn, and you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster. from your spell and trap card zone. And we're going to go ahead and end it off with Blackbeard, the Plunder Patrol Captain. As I said before, Blackbeard facilitates your whole place in this deck. It is a Link to 1600 attack monster, water attributed with the effect that reads as a quick effect. You can go ahead and target one effect monster you control, including itself. Special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute of a monster that your opponent controls or is in your graveyard, and on resolution of this effect, equip Blackbeard or that selected target to that Plunder Patrol monster you special summon, and on resolution of this effect, you get to draw a card. Now, the unfortunate thing about Blackbeard's effect is that it can be ashed, which does suck, but it's usually negated. So, I mean, well, not usually, but it is negatable by like imperm, all that good jazz. But the nice thing, even if Blackbeard's effect is negated, usually you do end on Blackbeard and Redbeard, so you still have some type of interaction. So you go ahead and activate Redbeard's effect and go ahead and go to Morik or Liss or something like that. So you could go ahead and get negations on the board like that and build your board. As I said before, very, very mid-range deck. But however, you don't really play a lot on your own turn. If you play on your opponent's turn, you do. As soon as your opponent starts playing, that's when you start playing. Although you don't want to be very aggressive. You can be aggressive, but if you are, that may lead to overextensions and then possibly getting Nibiru'd as well. Because you can get Nibiru'd, although not on your turn. You could definitely get Nibiru'd on your opponent's turn, depending on how many cards you bring out and how many effects you activate. So it is a definite possibility, although it is a slim chance and a slim margin. But I do appreciate it. This is my Plunder Patrol deck list. If you guys went ahead and liked it, go ahead and leave a like. Check out the Twitter. I'll go ahead and link that in the description as well. Subscribe and let me know in the comments what other decks you would like to see, or at least try to have me build on Dueling Book and things like that. Check out the Twitch as well. Go ahead and link both of those down in the description below. And I really appreciate you guys. Just I don't know, I'm gonna sign off, and I'll be back later this week.